What's going on, fellow YouTubers, gamers, and hobbyists out there? Welcome to this video response. This is a video response to a channel called At the Workbench. It's a newly discovered channel for me, so model kit building, that kind of thing. Go check it out. I'll put a link. Now he's put a video up called My 5 Bad Habits, and I thought I'd do a response to this because, well, yeah, we've all got bad habits, and I think we're all guilty of the same things, really. But it's interesting how some of us view the point of whether they're actually bad or not. Let me take you through points 1 to 5 at a time. So the first one was the stash, too many kits. The second one was having a messy or cluttered bench. The third one was having, working on many kits at the same time. Fourth one was setting aside models for a bit. You just put them aside. You want to work on something else, perhaps. That kind of thing. And the final one, rushing some aspect of the model, whether it's painting or building. Let's just have a look at those first, because yeah, I am guilty of them. If you call it guilt, do you call it guilt? Do I call it guilt? Well, let's find out. So, number 1, the stash. Too many kits. Well, we'll talk about them, but this is my stash, as it were. It also incorporates unpainted, unopened models, small ones in these drawers here, and there's a few drawers worth of those. Now, this is my messy bench, and yeah, so you start off with a nice clean area, big open space, and slowly it encroaches into an area like, I don't know, less than A4. But that's the messy bench. Yes, obviously I'm a guilty as charged person for that one. That's working on many kits at the same time. Well, when we're painting, us little modelers here, yeah, we're kind of hobby butterflies. So yeah, I do that. One thing I'll talk about that later. I just want to show you. Yeah, so working on all these at the moment at the same time. Right, setting aside models for a bit. Space Wolves are a prime example. These are not finished, and I set them aside maybe 5 years ago. Yeah, about that. So yes, I get that. Rushing models, though, no, I don't. I'm definitely not guilty of that. I don't think to myself, like 3/4 of the way through, I'll just quickly slapdash that. No, that is one thing I do not do. I will try and think of something else, though. So, to conclude, then, we'll just go through them then. So, 1, stash, too many kits. Well, you saw my stash, majority of it anyway. Is it too big? For some it is. For me, it's not. And I'll tell you why I think that. In fact, I get surprised at the number of people who actually think they have too many kits, or they should clear what they've got first. And yeah, I suppose I get that from a certain point of view. Maybe younger generation, maybe, I don't know. But the reason my stash is so big, well, it's big for me, and it's growing, and I'm growing it, is, you see, I used to call it many things. Some people used to call it their pile of shame or their shelf of shame. I was never ashamed of mine. In fact, for a long time, I used to call it my retirement shelf or my retirement pile. Now I just refer to it as my pile or shelf of future joy, because I'm amassing an amount of stuff to build and paint for when I retire, essentially. When I can't work anymore, I can't earn the money I am now, and I won't be able to afford to buy kits and games and whatever else that I do now. So I stash them, I hoard them. Yes, I do, but I'm proud of that, and I don't see that as a problem. That's just me. That's my perspective on it. So let's go on to the messy, cluttered bench. Yeah, I am. That is a problem. I agree. That is definitely a problem for me. My messy bench is far too messy, and it gets messy. I mean, I think you said in yours within a week. Mine's like within a day or within a session. Mine is cluttered again. You know, hands up. I am guilty of that, and it is a problem, and it is one I would like to constantly work on, clear away as I go. I mean, I can see loads of stuff on the bench now that I don't actually need on the bench right now. Paintbrushes, for instance. I'm not even painting right now. It's just I'm sorting. But anyway, moving on to working on many kits at once. Well, that is something that I do because I like to batch paint. I don't, however, build more than one kit at a time. If I'm building like a Warhammer tank, I won't open another one and start building that until that one's done. I just won't. Or if I open a box of, like, say, Space Marines, for instance, if I open a box of Space Marines, I won't open a box of Necrons or Tyranids and put them together until the Space Marines are done. One thing, one squad at a time, as it were. So I'm pretty good at that, I think. Now, setting aside models for a bit. That is something I do more often when I am going back to number 2 on the list, which is clearing the bench. I think, right? They're being set aside. In fact, most of the models that are on my bench right now, taking it up all the space, are models that I've previously set aside, over a year, sometimes 2 years ago. And I've decided now is the time I want to finish them off. So yes, I do that as well. Number 5 was interesting though. Rushing some aspect of the model, whether it's painting or building. I just don't do that. That is one thing I do not do. I just don't. That's just... I guess I'm lucky then. I guess I'm lucky that I don't do that. I can safely say everything I have done and do, I do to the best of my, ability. And I don't rush it or cut corners. I have in the past painted up, like, say, board game miniatures to just what I call tabletop standard, which isn't going the whole hog, but to me, I'm still taking time with them. I'm not rushing them. So yeah, right, that's the 5 you brought up. I thought I'd have a think about different ones that might apply to me, and I have one. Now that is, I mentioned that I'm okay with increasing my stash. Yes, I am. But what I'm not okay with, and what I do think is a problem, is falling victim to the whole FOMO thing. Fear of missing out on the latest shiny whatever it is. Set of models, new paint, type of whatever it may be, the new latest game, whatever. It's new and I think, I have to have this, otherwise I'll miss out. And that's a mentality I've been struggling, but I think I'm winning the battle now, trying to get over and get past. So I think I'm doing all right there. So yeah, so that was one I could safely say, yeah, that's not on the list, but that applies to me. So that's a bad habit of mine. Whatever the latest thing is, I feel I have to have it, for better or worse, sometimes. But so that's mine anyway. Like I say, check out the channel At the Workbench. I'll put a link below to that, or up in the corner, whatever's easier or quicker, and or both. And thank you for your time for watching this video. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Remember, all brushes lead to all, and I'll see you on another video. Bye for now. Bye-bye.